Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. We are here with Week 5 predictions here on the channel. I'm your host, the Avatar Wolf, joined today by, as always, the man giving his picks,
Me.
Ryan Potter. And last week we had a surprising record shift here this week. Like, Smooth is actually going higher up in the ratings. He actually went 11-5 last week.
I can't believe you got me to pick the Lions. I'm really pissed at you. I'm never listening to you again.
Who were they playing against? The Bears?
Yeah, and they fucking won, and the Lions lost, and you're a dick.
They only won by 10.
Yeah, it was exactly the score that I thought it was going to be. You told me I should pick the
Now,
Lions.
now to be
Blah, blah, blah.
honest, Justin Fields didn't go off in that game though. He had one interception, no
No, but
touchdowns.
everybody else did.
That's true.
Just like I thought they would. Just like Khalil Mack came to play and shit, and I'm like, I should have picked the Bears. And I'm like, the whole time I'm watching this game, I'm like, fuck you, Wolf.
Did you not watch the
Fuck.
Bills game at all?
Oh, I watched the Bills game.
Okay.
I can watch like 6 games at once.
Anyways, here is the records for week 4 going into week 5. Everyone on the list here. Last week I won the poll this week as well, which is shocking. I didn't think I was gonna win, but it happens. I went 12-4 last week, Potter.
There you go.
So I guess I can't be too mad about losing one game with Chicago when I went 12-4. Let's just get started right on the point here. I'm gonna let you talk about this first game here. It is the NFC West showdown. As always, it's gonna be the Los Angeles Rams at the Seattle Seahawks.
Oof.
This one's hard to predict.
It's really not though. Russell Westbrook isn't, or I'm sorry, Russell Wilson's not himself. The Seahawks team is just not the team that they were in 2012, even 2014. I think that Matthew Stafford's comfortable and finally in a place where he can win. He's confident in all of his players around him. And you could see, and I heard this from an analyst this past Sunday. You could see in Detroit when he was with Megatron how talented he was.
And it
Then,
was his
or
rookie season.
how great he was. Then, when he had no talent around him, you could see how talented of a player he was. Now that he's in Los Angeles, the sky's the limit for Matt Stafford. 35-17 Rams.
35-17 for the Rams. Now, last time you said stuff about the Seahawks, they came out and defeated San Diego 49ers 28-21, just letting you know that, right?
Right, but that was a really close game.
Stafford's coming off of a bad game against the Arizona Cardinals. He didn't take any sacks, but there was a lot of pressure from that defensive line in Arizona that was kind of affecting his throws. He went 41 for 26, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. That's still decent numbers, but it's not like Stafford numbers this season, if you get what I mean. So I'm expecting Stafford against a Seattle Seahawks defense does not have a lot of pressure getting to the quarterback. I'm expecting Seattle to fall down a little bit short here. I'm going to take the Los Angeles Rams 20-24. I do not see the Seahawks not coming out and scoring on offense, however. I mean, Russell Wilson, sooner or later, Russell Wilson's going to actually wake up. It's just a matter of when. That's the problem that I have with this team.
I just don't think that against that Rams, the
defense.
Rams at all. No.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying about the Rams defense. The Rams defense is legit. However, I just can't see Seattle against a division rival not putting up points. That's why, but I'm still in the Rams 28-24 against the Seattle Seahawks. Next game up, we have New York Jets at the Atlanta Falcons. Potter, you can go first on this one.
I'm sorry, what is it again?
Jets at Falcons.
I have nothing to say. Jets, you fucking suck. 35-0 Atlanta.
Oh yeah, that's right. You picked the Rams. What was your score for the Rams and Seahawks?
35-17.
35-17. I forgot to write that down real quick. Sorry about that, guys. And they took Atlanta 35-0 against the Jets. Now, I'm going to say this about the Jets. Last week, they went out and they actually got the job done against the Tennessee Titans. It wasn't a beautiful win by any means for the Jets, but Zach Wilson had a good day. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 297 yards passing, a good completion percentage as well. Zach Wilson did his thing out there. They're taking on the Atlanta Falcons, who I believe lost to the Washington football team last week. But Matt Ryan, man, still having a great day. 4 touchdowns, 283 yards passing. Good completion percentage as well for Matt Ryan. I gotta take Atlanta to beat the Jets. I don't see the Jets having a lot of momentum. I mean, they have momentum right now, yes, but I don't see them keeping that momentum against this Atlanta offense. This Jet team has to have the right circumstances to win in the NFL right now. And they beat the Tennessee Titans, yes. However, they beat them without Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. I cannot take them as a legit contender against the Falcons yet. I'm going to give the Falcons a 24-17. Let's give them a 24-14 win against the New York Jets. However, the Jets, if you can prove me wrong and actually beat Atlanta, that would be actually really good for your season. You could go 2-2 and actually be second place in the AFC East. So yeah, we'll see how it goes from there. Up next, we have the Green Bay Packers at the Cincinnati Bengals. RWP, please go first.
Both of these teams have beaten the Steelers. Okay.
Okay.
So it is football quarterbacks future versus football quarterbacks past and present. Honestly, I like that this could possibly be a shootout. I really like the idea of that. But I'm gonna give it to the experienced Aaron Rodgers, 35-28, Green Bay.
35-28 for the Green Bay Packers. You think it's going to be a shootout? Now,
I think so.
Why would you say it's going to be a shootout? Like, what do you think about Joe Burrow this season?
He's been awesome in my opinion. He's been able to do what he's been able to do. Big win against a division rival. You know, they're hot this start. You know, I think this is the best that the Bengals have started in the last like 2 or 3 years. I know they've had rough starts. You know what I'm saying? So to be 3-1 is really not bad at all for the Cincinnati Bengals.
I agree with you on Cincinnati being a. They're more of an underthought, if we're being honest here. Like, teams are not taking. Like, people are not taking them seriously.
They're an afterthought.
Yeah, they're an afterthought. Yeah, they are. They really are. And give me a second. Okay. Anyways, I have to give it to the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is something else, man. He comes out week 1, loses to who was it, the Niners in a bad way, or was
in
it
a bad way?
Who did he lose in week 1 to? That was in a bad way. It wasn't the Niners. I know it's not the Niners. Let me just check real quick, make sure of it. They lost to the Saints in a bad way, 38-3 against the Saints. And Rodgers ever since has been putting up points on the board, keeping games alive here and well. I gotta give it to the Packers. I'm giving them 27-17. However, I can see the Packers scoring more than just 27 points, and I can see this turning into a shootout, like Power said. But here's the thing with the Bengals that I'm afraid of is their offensive line. And against Davius Smith and Preston Smith, that's gonna be a problem for the Cincinnati Bengals, in my opinion. Do you not have any worry about that offensive line, that starting front for Seattle? Or for are you not worried about that offensive front for the Bengals at all against Preston Smith?
I am mildly worried, but I believe if they work out a good game plan, they can stop Preston
Smith,
or Preston Smith, whatever the fuck his name is.
So I'm giving Packers win 27-17. Up next, we have the Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm not gonna say a goddamn thing about this game. I'm gonna give it to the Vikings. As much as I fucking hate to do it. 17-14 Vikings.
I think me and Potter are both on the same page again. I'm taking the Vikings over the Lions. I Honestly, this is a team the Vikings should be able to dominate on offense. But like Power said, you didn't want to really talk as much about this game. I'm giving the Vikings to win 35-21 against the Lions. Um, real quickly because I know that you guys want to probably hear some stats here. I'll say about the stats for the Lions. Jared Goff, last week, 38 passes, 24 completions, almost 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Um, do you have anything to say about Goff actually doing well against the Bears defense, even though he got sacked like 4 times?
No. The Lions need to pick their shit up.
What do you suggest the Lions should do to pick their shit up?
Rebuild again.
Rebuild? Okay.
Yep. And
Up
have naked
next,
cheerleaders in at the arena so people will show up to watch their fucking shite games.
up next we have the Denver Broncos at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is a weird game, and I don't know if I can really comment on this. But I hate the Steelers, so I'm gonna take the Broncos 27-21.
So why do you think this is a weird game?
It's because like the Steelers aren't terrible, but the Broncos need like a to play against a team that they can prove that they can actually, they're not, you know, I don't know. That's why it's hard to talk about this game. I'm going to let you go ahead.
This game is hard to talk about for one reason and one reason only, and that is the status of Teddy Bridgewater, who's on the injury list right now with a concussion. We do not know when he'll be back, if he's going to be back for this game or not. So far, he's still been in concussion protocol as of the 5th. So, and the 5th is today, by the way. We're not recording this before Wednesday or Thursday, or when it comes out on Thursday. This video comes out on Thursday night, or Thursday afternoon, I should say. We do not know the status of Teddy Bridgewater. And plus, the offensive line is going to have a troubled time stopping TJ Watt, Melvin Ingram, that just heavy loaded defensive unit for the Steelers. And it could cause problems for Denver, if we're being honest, especially if Drew Lock is in at quarterback. Now, the other side of the spectrum, we have Big Ben, who doesn't know how to throw a football anymore. And that's the lightest way to say about it. Big Ben has looked bad these last few games. It hasn't been really a good season for the Steelers so far, being 1-3 in the season. I gotta give it to Denver just because I trust. I kind of figured that Bridgewater would be back, but at the same time, I think it's gonna be iffy if the Broncos win with Drew Lock. I think it's gonna be the Steelers game, but I'm putting my money basically on Teddy Bridgewater showing up for this game, being involved in this game here. And by the way, Bridgewater hasn't thrown an interception at all this season, so there's hope for that as well yet. So I'm taking the Broncos to beat the Steelers 21-10. I don't see Big Ben keeping up with the NFL at the level he's at right now. And I think the Steelers, they really need to actually get rid of Big Ben, or Big Ben has to retire, because I don't know what's going to happen here. And honestly, I don't even think it's Big Ben's fault really that much because of that offensive line that he has. That offensive line has been atrocious this season for the Steelers, and it hasn't been working out well for Big Ben. And I think Big Ben's starting to realize why a person like Tom Brady left New England to play with elite veteran players that he does in Tampa Bay. And I'm using this to segue into our next game. I mean, the Miami Dolphins headed to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers.
Jacoby Brissett versus Tom Brady.
Yep.
Is Tua still out? Is he out by an IR?
I believe Tua's on IR. I'll check that real quick while you're talking about this game.
So,
Because I believe they put him in IR.
Dolphins fans.
Yes, he's on IR.
Huh?
He's on IR.
Dolphins fans, this game is huge. I know you don't have a lot of key players right now, but if for any reason you guys can put down Tom Brady, you'd be the talk of the league. Absolutely 100% the talk of the league. I know the Cardinals are the only 4-0 team, but if the Dolphins beat Tom Brady, I mean, what does that say? After they've struggled all year long. I don't foresee
So,
this happening. I foresee everything crumbling right in front of you, and they can all hail Tom Brady in Miami. Tom Brady's going to wash the walls with you guys. 42-7. Sorry, Miami fans.
don't be sorry for them. They deserve this. Miami, you guys traded Grant to the Bears, by the way, for a draft pick. So I think Miami actually knows what they're doing right now, and they're going to start rebuilding right away, which is shocking for me because they just rebuilt like what 2 years ago, and now they're rebuilding again. I have a feeling they're going to start like throwing some money away here and just rebuilding that offense. However, like Power just said, I don't see Tampa Bay losing to the Miami Dolphins. I really don't, especially with Jacoby Brissett at the helm here. I bet the Buccaneers be all over them. I'm giving Tampa Bay the win, 31-13, and I'm being kind of very generous to the Dolphins by giving them 13 points. But hey, you can score in garbage time. That's all I gotta say about that.
That's true.
Up next, we have New Orleans Saints at the Washington Football Team.
I'm super impressed with Washington. I'm not going to lie. What about you? What do you think?
I'm impressed with Washington. Yes. Last week against the Washington Football Team, Tyler Heineke, 3 touchdowns, 290 yards, only missed 10 passes. Not a bad performance.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. At least it's reassuring for Washington to know they have someone that can control the helm.
So who you taking this game, Washington or New Orleans?
And this is a huge question. New Orleans, which Jameis Winston are we going to get? The Jameis Winston that can throw 5 touchdowns, or the Jameis Winston that's going to fumble twice, throw 2 interceptions, and just be god awful?
Now,
That's really the debate.
to be fair for Winston, he did not throw an interception against the Giants. It was Taysom Hill.
It's the Giants.
I know, but still.
It's the fucking Giants.
Hey,
I just think this week's going to be a little different for Winston. Going to give the win to the Washington football team, 27-24.
by the way, you're saying about the Giants, right? You
Yeah.
said 27-24. Let's not forget the Saints just lost to the freaking New York Giants. Okay, I won't put that out there. The Saints lost to the Giants. There's another team that I'm going to talk about later that I'm going to have a field day with because they deserve it. But and you already know where I'm going with this. Winston, like the Saints, they just lost to the Giants. They need this win. This is a big win for the Saints. Washington just had their big win. They came back and beat Atlanta. And I believe actually Washington's in a good spot right now, if I remember correctly. They're 2-2 right now. The Saints are 2-2 as well. Both teams actually need this win. Then I thought the Washington football team was 3-1, but I was mistaken.
They're 2-2.
Yeah, they're both 2-2. I'm gonna take. This is a hard one. I don't know what Winston's gonna show up and play like against
I
Washington.
still think it's going to be Washington.
I, I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna say the Saints 24-21. I can see this going either way though. I have to go with my gut decision, taking the Saints, only for the fact that I just Winston is back and forth, back and forth. He hasn't had a good game in weeks, by the way. He's finally gonna have his one good game, and then he's gonna have 5 other bad games in the next coming weeks. But this is gonna be a good game for Winston. I'm gonna give them the win against Washington. Up next, we have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, Panthers 27 or 28-10.
So, do you not see anything in Philadelphia, in offense at least?
No, this is another case of rebuild. I don't know why they're not playing Joe Flacco.
I don't think it's that bad yet to play Joe Flacco.
No wins. They
That's
have 0
true.
wins, right?
Let me check.
Pretty sure they got no wins.
Not Washington. What am I doing? Eagles. They're 1-3. They've won against somebody. Let me see who they won against. They won against the Falcons.
That's it.
Yep.
Oh damn.
And they scored 30 points against the Chiefs. And Jalen Hurts actually had an amazing day, almost 387 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 48 passes, 32 completions. Not a bad day for Jalen Hurts. And they scored 30 points against the Chiefs. Huh?
I mean, I don't know.
I'm taking Carolina. I'm taking them 21-13. The Panthers' defense is legit, like I said before. And they're not going to let like easy teams like the Eagles or the other teams that they face. Like last week was just a rare exception for them because they took on the Dallas Cowboys, which I think the Cowboys are a big powerhouse in the league this season. But like when the Panthers take on the Saints, Jets, and Texans and leave them under 14 points, I don't see the same happen. I can see the same happening for the Eagles against Carolina. I'm taking the Panthers 21-13. Up next, Pyro, can I have the floor for this one for a minute?
Go ahead, please.
The Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tennessee, the best game performance I ever seen in my life from the Tennessee Titans last week, Potter. Do you agree?
Unfortunately, yeah.
You guys flossed the fucking Jets. Oh my god. And here's the sad part is, I gotta still take you guys because you're facing fucking Jacksonville. We gotta talk about Jacksonville, don't we? Did you hear the news about coming out in Jacksonville?
No.
The owner has came out and said that he has zero trust in Urban Meyer. He says Urban Meyer has to earn their respect back in the Jacksonville, and players want him gone.
I mean, when your players don't want to play for you.
There's only one thing I'm questioning though right now is if Tennessee is going to have Julio Jones and AJ Brown back. Now, Tennessee, I want you guys to shut up about AJ Brown and Julio Jones and use that excuses for losing against the Jets. Because it's a fucking Jets. You don't need them against the fucking Jets. But, okay, whatever. I'm not getting into it. AJ Brown and Julio Jones is still questionable for this game coming up here. Okay, who do you think is going to win?
Man. I don't know, man.
I had to take Tennessee because I'm taking Tennessee because Jacksonville's is a dumpster fire right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Tennessee. I'm gonna take Tennessee too, but I don't know what the score is gonna be, so I'm gonna give you no score.
Okay, but like I said before, Jacksonville, you guys need to. What's the correct word? Get an actual decent head coach. I don't know why you guys took. I don't know why Urban Meyer is like this bad. Wasn't he a guru in college?
Yes.
Is it just the NFL rules like destroying him, or is it
One of the best college coaches.
and the fact that players do not want him even in the locker room is just speaking volumes of me? Is that he's trying to treat them like kids and children, and that's not how you're supposed to treat an NFL locker room compared to a college locker room.
Probably.
So if the player's not going to play for Urban Meyer, I'm thinking Tennessee. But don't I expect Urban Meyer to maybe be out of Tennessee or out of Jacksonville by the time week Sunday might happen.
It might.
Up
It's
next, we
really
have New
hard.
Up next we have the New England Patriots at the Houston Texans.
The Patriots really, really need a win here. They got, shall we say, embarrassed?
I don't want to say embarrassed. They only lost by 3 points.
Yeah,
They only lost by 2 points.
This is another tough one. This is another really tough one.
This isn't a tough one for me. You want me to just say my pick first?
Go ahead.
I'm taking the Patriots 24-3. Houston, David Mills did not impress me at all against Buffalo. David
Not at
Mills,
all.
they need Tyrod Taylor back and badly. I think Tyrod's actually in injured reserves.
Jackson.
Yeah, he is in injured reserves. Nice.
Yeah, I just. I'm gonna definitely not take the Texans.
Taking the
So,
Patriots.
oh yeah, as much as I don't want to, but again, not gonna give a score because I
So I'll
won't care either.
so I'll say this: the only way Houston's winning this game is if a man called Deshaun Watson decides to get out of his ass and play for them. Yeah. Up next, we have the Chicago Bears at the Las Vegas Raiders.
One more time, I'm sorry.
Chicago at Vegas.
Oh, this is one of those. I like Raiders in this game. Chicago did well. Okay, beat the Lions, but I don't know. I'm gonna give it to the Raiders. No score. I
No
don't know
score
the
again.
score. Yeah.
I'm giving it to the Raiders 20-24. Derek Carr has or is that his name? Is it Derek or David? I know one of them was in the. I know both of them are in the NFL. But I don't know which one's actually playing right now. I think it's Derek
Derek.
Carr. Derek.
It is
Derek
Derek
Carr
Carr.
has looked amazing this season. Last week was kind of a rough game for him. Not really getting the job done passing wise against a offensive front against a defensive front like the Los Angeles Chargers with Joey Bosa being a wreck. I believe Bosa actually had like 2 sacks in this game if I remember correctly. Okay, no, he had only two QB hits though, but you still get my point. He's getting hits. He's getting making wreckage and making havoc. Bosa did have a sack in the game as well. So this is the problem with the Raiders is they're going to be taking on a defensive front in Khalil Mack and the Chicago Bears. It's going to be one hell of a game. It's going to be close for both teams. The question is, will Justin
Oh
Field?
shit! Going back to fucking the Raiders.
Yep, that as well.
Oh. God.
I just realized that too as I was saying it.
I still don't think it's gonna be enough.
My question here, the way the Bears win this game for me is if Justin Fields is actually legit. He's going to need to be legit to beat the Raiders defense.
It is legit. It is legitimate. I'm going to just stop you right here just to let everybody know. Cowboys are releasing linebacker Jalen Smith.
So it's official.
It is official.
All right.
They've explored trade opportunities and still have until 4 p.m. Eastern Time Wednesday to find a trade partner. But it seems unlikely that will happen.
Anyways, I'm taking the Raiders over the Bears 2024. I don't expect Derek Carr to have two bad back-to-back games, but with that defensive front that the Chicago Bears are going to lay a possession against the Raiders, you never know. Anyways, up next, we got the Cleveland Browns at the Los Angeles Chargers.
Wait, what? Sorry, I was reading
Browns,
this.
Chargers.
Man, I believe in Justin Herbert. Chargers.
No score?
No score.
This is going to be the Cleveland Browns' first real test on defense. Or not on defense, on offense. Last week, they beat Minnesota, cool. But, like, they haven't really faced a decent defense besides maybe the Chicago Bears, but they really stopped Khalil Mack in that game and didn't let him factor in at all. But this is against Joey Bosa, Derwin James. This is a great defensive unit that the Chargers come out with. So we'll see how Baker Mayfield plays against a good defense in the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are coming in facing one of the best defenses in the NFL as well, taking on Myles Garrett.
Hey.
And yes?
I think that there's a comment on this thread from Jeff K.
Send it to me.
JKB0162 says his play really dropped after 2018. He can't
That's
cover
on him.
Doesn't play. Oh.
Jeff, please give us your comments on the Cowboys. I'll say that in the Cowboy video, actually, when we get to the Cowboys. Anyways, Justin Herbert. Last week against the Raiders, 3 touchdowns, but they didn't have really any pressure, the Raiders, against Justin Herbert, in my opinion. Only getting 2 sacks for 10 yards. This is going to be Justin Herbert's like real test against the Cleveland Browns as well. I'm taking the Chargers 27-26.
Okay.
The only reason I'm taking the Chargers is because I think the Browns haven't had really a legit team to face against yet either. I think both teams haven't really faced legit teams besides the Chargers somehow beating the Chiefs. But at the same time of that nature, both these teams need this win, and I think this would be a big win for the Chargers if they can get against the Browns. However, this is a game that I think is going to be game of the week, and I think it can go either way.
Right. I believe in Justin Herbert. I do.
I believe in Herbert too. I believe in him more than Baker. And by the way, Brown fans, I know Crusher's a Brown fan, and he might watch this. Baker Mayfield's been having a great season this year. He deserves all the praise he gets, but I see Herbert being better. Up next, the New York Giants go into Dallas, take on the Dallas Cowboys.
And we just heard that Jalen Smith is getting released. Like, what do you think about this? Honestly, I don't understand why they didn't do this at the beginning of the season.
I don't know the Cowboys roster well enough to actually give an actual opinion on this. I think the reason they're getting rid of Jalen Smith is because they have someone else in backup that's probably playing better than him on the defensive front. Let me check the Cowboys roster actually real quick out and see what we got here. Who's going to be taking over his spot at middle linebacker is the question. Right now, they're saying it's going to be...
I know who it is. Mitch Parsons. Or Micah Parsons.
It looks like it. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Mitchell Parsons. Parkins is actually really good. Micah. Sorry. Isn't he the one that got drafted this season? Oh, it is. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Parsons should be really good in that. This is going to look really good for the defense for the Cowboys. I do see Keenan Neal is actually going to be out for this game as well, as I'm looking at the roster right now. Amari Cooper is questionable as well to play. But anyways, back to the game as well. Who are you guys taking, the Cowboys or Giants?
can I say? I'll pick any team that's going against the Giants.
You're taking the Cowboys then.
Of course. Of course I'm taking the Cowboys.
You got a
Dak
score?
Prescott and Zeke are healthy. Yeah, I'm taking the fucking Cowboys.
What's the score?
By 20 at least.
By 20 at least.
That better pop up in the video. By 20, and put in parentheses, by 20 at least.
So, this is what I'm going to call a trap game for Dallas. The Giants and Cowboys always play well against each other. Winky face. I gotta take the Cowboys 24-17. The Giants, like, sure, they just won against, I believe, what was it, Atlanta? Or no, they won against I gotta look now because I'm just not remembering who they just beat.
Atlanta, I believe.
No, they beat the Saints. They just beat the Saints. Okay. Anyways,
Right.
Even though they did just beat the Saints, and they have a little bit of momentum going into this game against Dallas, I still gotta take the Cowboys just because of Dak Prescott, and I think it's gonna be a close game. It's not gonna be by 20 at least. I think this is a division rivalry game. They always play well against each other. Even if one team sucks compared to the other, they usually always play good against each other. I actually looked it up and seen the last scores for these Cowboys and Giants games, and they're always close. I had to make sure Jeff was actually not lying to me when he says that they usually play well against each other. So I had to actually do my research, Jeff. Sorry, I didn't like fully trust you on that. But I'm taking Cowboys 24-17 against the Giants. But that is shocking me that Jalen Smith actually got released by the Cowboys and they're trusting Parsons with that heavy load. Pardon?
Didn't Jeff think you were trolling him?
Yeah, earlier, but I told him that it was told by Scheffner. I believe he did his own research and he was looking up himself, and you probably would have found out that they did release him. Anyways, up next, we got the NFC West Showdown again. The San Francisco 49ers going into Arizona to take on the Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals are the only team in football that's undefeated. Last year, we had 6 teams that were undefeated. That's right. I want to read that. I want to say that again. The Cardinals are the only undefeated team in the NFL right now. Last year, there were 6 teams. One of those teams was the Bills. So, like, I remember, and it's huge for them going in. And that's going to be the question of the year. If they win this game, are they going to lose the next game or the next game or the next game? And that could be beneficial for them, or that could be really terrible. Like, they could have that on their back. I just don't think. I mean, it's hard to say. What do you think about this game, Wolf?
I'm taking the Niners.
Taking the Niners.
My thought process here is that they're division rivals. They're going to play well against each other, as always. Division rivals always play well against each other, usually. And my thought process going into this game is that Arizona has nothing to lose in this game. If they lose this game, they're going to be, 4-1? I think they just beat the Los Angeles Rams. They're going to be overcocky and confident, too overconfident about themselves, and they're going to drop the ball against the Niners, a team that should not be overlooked.
Last year, there were 6 teams that started the season 4-0. The Steelers, the Titans, the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Packers, and the Seahawks. None of those teams are the Cardinals.
Yep.
With the Raiders losing Monday night, now the Cardinals are the only unbeaten team.
Yep.
All 6 teams that started the season 4-0 last year made the playoffs, which the Cardinals have to view as good news. But the team that won the Super Bowl were not among the unbeaten teams a year ago. I'm just saying. Like, it doesn't really necessarily, like, that doesn't,
The team that won the Super Bowl last year was 0-1 to start the season. Take that as you will. So, are you taking Arizona?
I'm taking Arizona.
So this is my thought process as well. Is that this is division rivals, and this can go either way as well. You're not gonna have a score for this game, are you?
Nope.
Yeah, I figured. That type of game right here with Arizona and the Niners, it can go back and forth either way with both teams. Um, I said before that there's a cycle that goes through the NFC West. I believe the Niners are the ones that beat Arizona usually. I believe if I remember correctly, or if it's either the Cardinals or the Rams that they beat. I'm not so sure about it this week if the Niners are going to beat them. However, I just have that feeling that we're not going to have an undefeated season. We're not going to have an undefeated team going into Week 6. I have that feeling. I mean,
You could be right.
I could be right. It's hard to say with these games, man. These games are all close this week. This is like, I'm surprised if anyone's going to go like 10-6 in these next games coming up here. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
If you get like at least 10 wins this week going into this game here, going into doing week 4 only, that's just gonna be impressive on itself for weekly picks, ladies and gentlemen. Just gonna say that real quickly out of the way.
Right.
Up next, Sunday Night Football. Buffalo Bills heading to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs.
The Chiefs are riding low, but they've activated Josh Gordon. So are we going to see Gordon fuck up the Bills? Because every time Gordon's come out to play against the Bills, no matter where he is, he lights it up. It's really fucked. He's done it for like 3 different teams now. The Patriots, the Browns, and now he'll do it for the Chiefs this Sunday. If they've activated him, can they play him?
I believe they can play him.
So I mean that will be this, but I don't see Josh Allen being derailed at all. Buffalo's gonna win. No score.
Okay, so I'm gonna have some controversy here, and people are probably gonna just roast me in the comment section for this, but I'm taking the Bills to beat the Chiefs. I am. Now, that's not the surprising thing that I'm going to say on the channel right now. You know, I'm a Bills fan, okay, guys? So you guys can't blame me for spilling out some stupid shit on this channel when I'm a Bills fan, ladies and gentlemen. Like, please, you guys know how I am. I'm taking the Bills to beat the Chiefs 42-14. Did you hear what I just said, Potter?
Taking the Bills to beat the Chiefs 42-14. You think
Actually,
the Bills are going to do that well against the Chiefs when that was where we suffered last year? What's going
this
to be
is
different
not.
about this game? What is
You
going to
know,
be different about this game? The AFC Championship game, Wolf. You
the
tell me
defense
right
is
now.
legit. The defense is legit this year compared to last season. This defense has done an unremarkable thing. This is since last time this has happened was in 2009. Has a team actually went out and blew out teams with a 35-point differential? 35. Let me get the actual stat up here because I actually retweeted on Twitter real quick. I want to make sure I'm actually saying it correctly.
It's 144 points to 35 points. Trust me, I know. You don't
Not
have to
just
tell me
that.
I'm a real fan. I'm a real Bills fan.
The Bills are the first team with
144
multiple.
points.
That's not the stat I was saying.
In the first 4 games, the Bills have scored 144 points in offense, and allowed. I think it's what they said was, what was it, 35 points or 42 points, something like that. That's not bad.
Let me finish, okay? The Bills are the first team with multiple 35-plus point shutouts in a season since 2009. And it's only week fucking 4. This defense is legit shutting teams out left, right, and center. Now, the problem with this stat is that they've only faced bad offenses, really, for being honest. But we just talked about Taylor Heinicke doing really well for the Washington football team. And We're not going to give like the Buffalo Bills defense credit for what they did against Tyler Heineke in that game against Washington. Like, let's be real. Tyler Heineke's going out there and he's defeating teams left, right, and center, but he goes into Buffalo and gets completely creamed. We got to talk about it. It's legit. This defense is legit. Jordan Poyer should be back for this game as well. Matt Milano is actually questionable. Actually, Matt Milano and Jordan Poyer are both questionable, but I don't see this defense actually like not coming out and playing against the Chiefs. Now, I'm being over dramatic as a Bills fan, saying they're going to win 42-14. I honestly, if I'm being like realistic here, I can see the Bills winning with a close like margin, maybe by 3 points or whatever. But at the same time, as a Bills fan, I trust this defense to actually shut down the Chiefs' offense.
I mean, I hope so.
Like last season, did you see the defense actually being this good compared to this season?
Oh, it's way better.
It's way better, and also Josh Allen is producing because he's getting short field range. Last season, he had to go down the field himself to make those plays. This year, he's getting like the ball on the 50-yard line half the time. It's
right.
It's unreal what this defense is doing, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon, especially against the Chiefs. This is when they have to come out and play better. They know that they are going to have a tough time against Mahomes if they don't actually come out and play. If they get pressure on Mahomes, this game could be like the Chiefs in the fucking Super Bowl against the Buccaneers. And this is the type of team to do it against the Chiefs right now. Buffalo's been getting pressure galore this season. They are first in the league in takeaways as well. Put some respect on the Bills' defense. Buffalo beats the Chiefs 42-14. Am I crazy for saying that, Potter?
I don't think so.
This defense is legit, and they're going to show it against Kansas City on Sunday night. Mark my words. Anyways, we got one more game to talk about. Indianapolis Colts at the Baltimore Ravens.
Another real hard game to talk about. I want to give it to both teams, honestly.
Well, let's take a look at some of the stats here. The Colts are 1-3 this season. The only team they beat was the Miami Dolphins, and they just won this week, by the way. That's their first win. They were 0-3 going into the Dolphins game, but they beat the Dolphins. Okay. The Baltimore Ravens, they are 3-1 this season. They only lost against the Raiders. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They beat Denver. Who they beat week 3? I don't remember. They beat the Lions. And they've been scratching their teeth, really, in these games.
I mean, the one thing that I can't count out in this game is Lamar Jackson. All right? Like, the kid's got wheels. Like, he's starting to get behind his throws. I mean, you can't take it away from Legatron either. Justin Tucker hitting a 66-yard field goal to end the game against the Lions.
Yes.
So I'm going to take the Ravens. But I honestly think this is going to be one of the weird like a bunch of field goals are made before Baltimore really turns it on. So I'm going to give it like what was it? So it'd be 20 10 plus 7 24 to we'll give them 14. I'll be nice to Wentz.
You're being more nice than I am with the score.
Yeah, I realize.
I'm actually keeping it low. I see Baltimore Ravens winning 14-10. Only for the fact that I think the Ravens are going to lowball the Colts and not play to their potential. and that they're going to, what's the correct word? Downplay their opponent. It seems like
I see that. I can see that.
the downplaying that the Steelers used to do all season long for the past like 5 to 6 years. It seems like the Ravens are starting to do that more and more with teams, especially against the Lions, especially against last week, who they faced last week, especially against the Broncos until Teddy Bridgewater got hurt. They're playing down their opponents, and then once Bridgewater got hurt, they started to lay up the points in the board here. So I'm giving the Ravens the win 14-10. I still see the Ravens winning. I don't see nothing really to note really of this game. Um, I don't even know how it's on Monday Night Football. I just don't really see it, but it's whatever. I would put the Chargers and Browns on Monday Night Football before this game.
Right.
But yeah, I'm giving the Ravens 14-10. And that's gonna do it for all our picks. We actually stayed under the 1 hour mark, Potter. Wow.
I know, right?
That's shocking. But we were going through a lot of games here. We weren't really complaining or nothing about any of the games. And honestly, some of the games were easy just to talk about, but then others are just we just gave our picks and just said we don't really know what's gonna happen in the game, if we're being honest.
Right.
But yeah, guys, I'll see you in week 6 of the channel. Guys, make sure you're there for AWW this week. It's gonna be a great show. I'm still hurting from last week's show. Okay, that's gonna do it for me.
I'm still hurting from last week's show.
Any last words, Potter?
Let's go Buffalo.
Let's go Buffalo. I'll see you guys later. Peace.